Welcome back, my mathletes. Glad to see you again. Today we're going to be talking about converting improper fractions to mixed numbers. Now, an improper fraction, as we discussed earlier, is when there is a bigger number in the numerator on top than there is in the denominator, the number on the bottom. So in this case, we have 8/3. That is a larger number in the numerator than on the denominator, and therefore this is a mixed fraction. Now, this is not the proper way to show this. And the main reason we need to know how to do this is because on your tests, you're going to have answer A, B, C, or D, and that will not be 8/3. It's not going to be an option. So we have to find another way to represent this number. Now, 8/3, what does that actually mean? Well, I've drawn 4 circles down here, and they're all cut into thirds. So we have 8 pieces of 1/3. So let's go on ahead and count that out. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 2 whole pieces. I have 2 sets completely done. So I'm going to have 2, and then I have 2 extra thirds over here. So that would be represented as the fraction 2/3. So 8/3 converts to 2 2/3. And I hope that you can see that through the use of the models. Now, doing this with models is very effective at grasping the concept for our head. However, it is very time consuming as you have to draw out all of those circles or squares and cut up the pieces and then actually color them in. So let's see if there is a shortcut, easier way for us to look at this. And sure enough, there is. Now, if you struggle with fractions the way I struggle with fractions, one of the biggest problem I've ever figured out is which one goes where in the gazintu. And for those of you who don't know, that is a gazintu. And it is spelled goes into. Because what we are asking is a number goes into another number. Thus, it goes into. Anyway, I always had a problem figuring out which one goes on the inside, which one goes on the outside. I've heard a lot of cool tricks about cowboys and horses and barns and stuff like that. But the one that sticks to me, because I'm a rather large child and I enjoy my sweets, is the reference to ice cream. If you draw an ice cream cone over the bottom number, and then you put your favorite flavor of ice cream on top. Mine's bubblegum. It's pink. And it's pink on my screen, so it's going to stay pink. We can figure this out pretty easy, because if we look at this goes into, the goes into kind of reminds you of a refrigerator and a freezer, because the freezer's in the top usually. So what do we put in the freezer? Do we put an ice cream cone in the freezer? No, that gets them soggy. We put ice cream in the freezer. So we're going to take this 8 and we're going to put it under the goes into in the freezer. And then that means the ice cream cone goes outside and it stays in the pantry. Now all we got to do is divide, right? So I'm going to ask, how many times does 3 go into 8? Well, 3 goes into 8 2 times. And now 2 times 3 is going to give me 6. At this point, I need to figure out what the subtraction is, because this is standard long division. 8 minus 6 is 2. Pause. Usually, we're going to say add the decimal point, let's keep going. This is dealing with fractions. So we're actually going to stop here. But I want to ask you, what would be the next question that I would ask? If I was going to continue on doing this, the next question I would ask is, how many times does 3 go into whatever's down here? Right? So that's division. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We are going to take this 2 and we want to continue dividing it. So we're going to pull it up here, and it's going to become a numerator of 2. And then we're going to take our ice cream cone and we're going to make it the denominator, 3. So our mixed fraction is 2 2/3. So this is a mathematical way that we can actually get from a improper fraction to a mixed fraction just using long division. And that way you don't have to draw all of those crazy models. But wait, there is more. Let's consider a fraction like 24/6. And now I'm going to draw my ice cream cone, put the ice cream on top, and now I'm going to make my gazintu. There's my gazintu. And the ice cream goes on the inside, so 24 goes on the inside. Ice cream cone goes on the outside, 6. And now I want to ask myself, how many times 6 go into 24? Well, I can count that out. 6, 12, 18, 24. So it goes in there 4 times. 4 times 6 is 24. 24 minus 24 is 0. So I have no remainder. This means I have no little parts left over. None. I have no fractions. I only have a whole number. In this case, 24 divided by 6, which is exactly what I'm asking here, is simply 4. That's it. No fractions, no mixed number. It's a whole number. So if you get 0 as your remainder when you're converting an improper fraction, you have a whole number, and that is that. I hope this helps out. If not, rewind it, watch it. If that still doesn't help out, leave me a comment. Maybe I'll make a new video. Maybe I don't know. We'll figure it out at that point. But until then, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the little notification bell, and I'll see you in class tomorrow.